Good morning, dear students. Welcome back to our SST lecture. Today, we are going to start with our third chapter of geography, that is, motions of the earth. As you know, that the earth has two types of motions, namely rotation and revolution. What is rotation and revolution? We have studied it from last 2-3 years, that is from 4th standard and 3rd standard. You all are studying about it. So what is rotation and revolution? Rotation is the movement of the earth on its axis. On its axis means there is one imaginary line which we are considering as the axis, and that the movement of the earth on its axis is called as rotation, whereas the movement of the earth around the sun in a fixed path or orbit is called revolution. Once again, I will explain you what is rotation and revolution. Rotation, the imaginary line is there. This is called as axis. So the movement of the earth on its axis, so that movement is called as rotation. Whereas there is in solar system, the sun is in the center and our earth revolves around the sun in a fixed path, that is orbit. So this movement is called as revolution. The axis of the earth. The axis of the earth, which is an imaginary line, makes an angle of 66.5 degree with its orbital plane. As you can see in the picture also, the axis of the earth, the imaginary line, which is an imaginary line, makes an angle. There is an angle in the photo also. You can see the angle of 66.5 degree, that is 66.5 degree with its orbital plane. The plane formed by the orbit is known as orbital plane. The earth receives light from the sun. From whom? From the sun. So due to the spherical shape of the earth, only half of it gets light from the sun at a time. The portion facing the sun experiences night. The circle which divides the circle that divides the day from night on the globe is called as circle of illumination. What is this circle of illumination? The circle that divides the day from the night is called as the circle of illumination. As you can see, this circle does not coincide with the axis. This is our axis, and the earth takes about 24 hours to complete one rotation around its axis. Therefore, this period of rotation is known as Earth Day. It is known as Earth Day. The period of rotation around its axis is known as Earth Day. What would happen if Earth did not rotate? The portion of the earth facing the sun would always experience day, and thus bringing continuous warmth to the region, while the other half would remain always in darkness, and it would be very freezing cold over there all the time. Life would not be possible in such extreme conditions over there. So therefore, the second motion of the earth around the sun in its orbit is called revolution. Now, what does this revolution affect and what is the effect of it? First of all, we'll see about it takes 365 and 1/4 days, that is 1 year, to revolve around the sun. Now what is this about 1/4? We are going to see about it. But we consider a year as only of 365 days. Where that 1/4 went? Okay, where is that 1/4? So we consider it only the year as only 365 days and ignore 6 hours for the sake of our convenience. So what about this 6 hours? You might be thinking, so what happens to this 6 hours? 6 hours every year, 6 hours every year are added to make one day, that is 24 hours over a span of 4 years. Means 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 is equal to 24. That is 24 hours is equal to 1 day. And that 1 day is added in the month of February. That's why you can see that in the month of February, sometimes it is 28 days and sometimes it is 29 days. Why it is 28 and 29? It is a leap year, so it will be having 29 days. And in that year, so total 366 days will be there. So that's why that year is called as a leap year. In this figure, you can see that Earth is going around the Sun. Now, Earth is going around the Sun in an orbital form. Orbital form means an elliptical orbit. That orbit is called as elliptical orbit. A year is usually divided into 4 seasons. That is summer, winter, spring and autumn seasons. Now this changes of seasons is due to what? Due to the position of the Earth around the Sun. You might be thinking, what happens when if the if the Earth is changing its position? You can see on 21st of June. On 21st of June, the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the Sun. So the rays of the Sun fall directly on the Tropic of Cancer. We know all the important parallels. As a result, these areas receive more heat and the areas near the poles receive less heat, as the rays of the Sun are slanting over there. So, the North Pole is inclined towards the Sun, and the places beyond the Arctic Circle experience continuous daylight for about 6 months. And as since a large portion of Northern Hemisphere is getting light from the Sun, it is summer in the regions of the north of the equator. The longest day and the shortest night at these places occurs on 21st of June. At this time in southern hemisphere, all these conditions are reversed. It is winter over there. The nights are longer than the days. This position of the earth is called as the summer solstice. Now, on 22nd of December, the Tropic of Capricorn receives direct rays of the Sun, as the South Pole is tilted towards the Sun, and as the Sun rays falls vertically at Tropic of Capricorn, a larger portion of Southern Hemisphere gets light. Therefore, in Southern Hemisphere there will be summer, and it with longer days and shorter nights. We know that in summer longer days are there and nights are shorter. The reverse happens in the northern hemisphere. So this position of the earth is called as the winter solstice. This position is called as the winter solstice. If you have heard about it, that in Australia the Christmas comes in summer season. On 21st of March and 23rd of September, direct rays of the sun fall on the equator. You can see in the photo, this direct rays are falling on the equator. So at this position, neither the pole is tilted towards the sun. So the whole earth experiences equal days and equal nights. And this type of feature is called as equinox. Now, on 23rd of September, it is autumn season in the northern hemisphere and spring season in the southern hemisphere. The opposite is in the case on 21st of March, when it is spring in the northern hemisphere and autumn in the southern hemisphere. Thus, I hope you understood the motions of the earth, as there are two moments, that is rotation and revolution. So here is one song showing the movements of the earth. I hope you will enjoy and like it. Thank you and have a nice day.
Spinning round, going that way since the earth came. Cause a planet wide, twirling top. It's been going round every second since that day. Going through the sky, rotation. Oh, I know Egyptian farmers spring floods expect. They got them thinking about that starry sky. Sirius came up in sky, made them connect. This helped them to predict rising of Nile. Earth makes a rotation, axis where it starts. Spinning at equator, it rotates, cycle renews. Yeah, planet revolution, orbits back to start. Gear it's making sure as we are getting older too. Planets running round, orbiting sun, gravity makes. Cause the sun and sky pulls them up. It is gravity, right here, planets keep in place. You already know, towards the sun. Oh, I know Egyptian farmers spring floods expect. You got them thinking about that starry sky. Sirius came up in sky, made them connect. This helped them to predict rising of Nile. Earth makes a rotation, axis where it starts. Spinning at equator, it rotates, cycle renews. Yeah, planet revolution, orbits back to start. Here it's making sure as we are getting older too. Spinning rotation, you see what makes it twirling hard. Orbiting sun, you see it's revolution. Spinning rotation, you see what makes it twirling hard. Orbiting sun, you see it's revolution. I know Egyptian farmers